Today was fun. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what we always talk about. We're going to review CLOV. We're going to see what people are talking about. We're going to see where the money's going. We're going to dive into dark pool data without a lifeguard. We're going to take a look at Max Payne. We're going to take a look at the intraday movement. We're going to take a look at Finery. We were going crazy today talking about CLOV and all the different levels that it could possibly hit. It was a lot of fun. So definitely, if you want to check out Finery, find the link in my description, join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. All right, so diving into what people are talking about. Ape Wisdom covers Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stocks, stock market, investing, SPACs, options, day trading, and short squeeze. So that's a new subreddit that's been added to this list. Very curious to see how that'll affect CLOV's ranking on the most talked about stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours. Number one being SPY, which makes sense. Again, there's a lot of geopolitics going on and the overall market keeps going up and down. So it makes sense to see SPY as the most talked about ticker. Then we have Smile Direct Club. I don't really care about, but it just stays on this list for some reason. Then we got Tesla, Canoe, Alterion, Vinco, Alibaba, GameStop, Clean Energy Fuels, AMC, Palantir, and Clover Health. So jumping into Clover, we have a spike of 132% in mentions, sitting at a 66% positive public sentiment. Nearby words including Moon, Bag, SDC, Tesla, Shit, Holders, Go EV, Wall Street Bets, Back, Up, Out, Mooning, Wish, Tell, Like, pretty much all the usual stuff. So very curious to see how with the introduction of r/short squeeze, where CLOV will start ranking. So if you just click on, I actually didn't know you could do that. If you just click on the actual subreddit, it'll rank who's talking about what in that subreddit. And it looks like if you click on short squeeze, CLOV is number 15 on that list. Oh, and then it gives you data on that. No, it's the same data. Okay, cool. Very cool to see that happening. So I saw this this Reddit post and I just thought it was interesting. I thought I'd share. It's from Lonely Tumbleweed 71. Let's get this, a discussion on the current status of CLOV. I haven't been this stoked for a stock in a very long time. All the FUD is clear as water as big players trying to promote their financial holdings in companies like Humana and pushing CLOV into the dirt. With the recent news of our CLOV expanding to double its current Medicare patients in 2022, it is looking incredibly promising. Additional great news is along the lines of a possible new coverage from Deutsche Bank and their new hire, George Barrio. Thank you, Altrades. Shout out Altrades. Continue strong, my brothers and fellow apes. I'm 1,800 shares in and will continue to hold till we hit triple digits. Stay strong out there and forget this FUD. Do your own research. Blah, blah, blah. So this brings up a really good point, and it's something I've been trying to find an opportunity to talk about, but I never really realized how to talk about it. A lot of the FUD and a lot of the different things that you see about this stock is really just FUD on the stock itself. This. People are talking about this. Look at this. Look at this. People are talking about the stock. So a stock that shoots up, comes back down, and stays down, right? So people are talking about what kind of a stock this is, not a company. So I haven't seen anyone talk bad about the company itself. So that gives me peace of mind knowing that we're invested in a company that is actually pretty legit. Well, let's see what else people are talking about. So this covers Wall Street Bets in particular. It gives some cool charts here so we can actually see some data. CLOV in the middle of the list, as it pretty much always is. It bounces back and forth, but what I really want to see is this. So taking a look at That beige line right there, that's the price of the stock, and then that's the comment volume. So very curious to see if the comment volume will start to follow the price of the stock, or if the price of the stock will just do its own thing and people will ignore it until it's too late and then it spikes. We'll see. Max Pain has not changed. I want to check it again tomorrow and see if it does. The Max Pain is still currently at $8 a share. Max Pain again, for the 50,000th time, if you're new here, is the strike price that the stock needs to be at to cause the most amount of damage on the calls and the puts. So with a stock that's so heavily manipulated and heavily controlled and shorted, that's why I look at this and I want to see, will CLOV close at 8 or close to 8 by the end of this week? Because that's where the market makers will make the most money in the options. Now, talking about making some money, take a look at this dark pool data. So the net short volume is now positive, and it has stayed positive. And I'm curious to see, once this data refreshes, maybe tomorrow or something, what this number will be after today's little run up. So the net short volume is positive 1.1 million. The net short volume in dollars is positive 9 million. Usually these are negative numbers, meaning there is a lot of shorting going on in the dark pool, but that pressure seems to have been kind of relieved, as you can see in the price of the stock today. So what happened today? Let's dive in and see. It opened up, and you already know what I'm going to say. It did exactly what it does every single time. It opened and dropped and dropped and dropped until it hit 757. Then started to work its way back up to the previous close line, which is this teal line right here. So that's the price that it closed at on Friday. And then it just started to gradually and very impressively work its way right back up to $8.20. So that is a pretty big swing, if you ask me, from 757 all the way to 820, only to kind of dip right back down and close at 810 on the dot. What did that do to options? So for the weeklies, the options, the 8s and the 8.5s and the 9s did kind of go up in price. Again, I am not looking to open up any call positions here. If anything, if this continues to rip, I am looking into selling calls to kind of reduce my cost basis here. And let me explain this real quick. I did explain it in my video on Friday, my last video on CLOV, but I bought 100 shares at 770 on Friday. So I can now sell a covered call above 770 and put myself in a win-win scenario. The only downside to that is if CLOV just continues to just rip your face off, then it goes past the strike price that you sold and you miss out on those gains unless you can roll over to the next week. But if I was to sell the 8.5s right now, I could get $14 in premium. Plus, if for some reason CLOV decides to go to 9, or my 8.5 call ends up in the money and it gets exercised, then I have to sell 100 shares at 850. But that's okay, isn't it? Because I bought 100 shares at 770. So it's one strategy we can start playing around with. I currently don't like the premiums that are being offered here. I do want way more money to part with my CLOV shares. So I'm still holding. Our overall cost basis is currently $10.03. So that's way better than what it was before. We've worked our way down from $13 now to $10, taking it slow. There's no rush. And it's been fun documenting the journey every step of the way. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I pretty much get back to most comments. And we have a lot of smart people in the comments. We have a lot of smart people over at our Finery. So definitely check that out. And with that, I love you and I'll see you in the next video.